Hello, everybody. My name is LuigiDini, and I am here for Console to Console Podcast, episode number 6. Today, we dig a deep dive into the Halo franchise, and we are lucky and honored to be with a very special guest, Mr. Sweet Tea. T, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm good. I'm ready to roll. I'm ready to talk.
Awesome. Love to hear it, my guy. So, obviously, Halo is a military science fiction based video game series, part of the Xbox Game Studios. In overall, has grossed over 6 billion in franchise sales. That's overall between games, box office, retail, merchandise. So it's up there with the greats of all of the headliners for sure. Started back in 2001 with Halo Combat Evolved, and most recently in 21 with Halo Infinite. But T, obviously, you are an enthusiast of this franchise and this gaming series, so well known in the Xbox and PC gaming world and in general. Can you bring us through your earliest memories of playing the game and why it became so special to you?
Um, Earliest that would probably be like in high school days for me, which would have been like 2005. So I didn't really know about Combat Evolved. Didn't even really know about the game, honestly. Went to a friend's house, stayed the night, and his little brother actually had the game, and we popped it in, started playing the campaign, and it kind of spiraled from there. Me and that friend we played Halo for years after that. Um, Halo 2 is mostly where it started, and then Halo 3 came out, and it just went wild after that. And Halo 3 was is the prime of the Halo franchise, so it's so good. The story was amazing. Master Chief is the main character, and just his one liners and just like how heroic and stoic he is. He's just such a likable character, and it's it's been fun to play the different stories through the years. I've fell off from the multiplayer scene. I don't play it that much anymore, but it definitely holds a close place in my heart for sure.
Amazing, awesome. So with that said, you mentioned the story and you mentioned like how you were more in depth with certain games. Can you take the listener on a tour of like what the games have to offer a bit, and then if you want to dive into the plot of the story or some of the stories at least, just give us some insight on that.
Um, the story is mainly like I believe I can't remember the exact year. I think it's like 2550 or something. It's like so far in the future. But the story builds around Spartans, which are um, genetically modified humans
Okay.
that were abducted as children at like 9 years old. And Master Chief ends up being one that was kind of took to everything well. Um, they they would inject them. Like I've read the books and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
so like I got to read a little more in depth with it, but they would. It's kind of like they kidnapped them and
Mm-hmm.
took them from their families and stuff, and tests after tests, trainings after training. I mean, they're from the books. They were doing capture the flag drills and stuff like that at like 12, and like shooting guns and stuff. Like it's crazy if you really read the books and stuff. It's wild. And the the story kind of builds around there's an outside alien race that comes in. They're called the Covenant, but it's like a whole group of different aliens. So it's like from different worlds and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. They basically stumble upon the humans. They start invading them, if you will, and that's where the Spartans come in. And there's different projects. There's like actually Spartan ones. Master Chief is like part of the Spartan 2 program. And then there's like Spartan 3s and so on. But they started ramping up and really pushing it out. And they got suits. The stories about the suits is crazy. But each Halo game revolves around Master Chief up until later games like Reach and stuff like that, which is amazing stories. Um, and pretty much that's that's pretty much the basis of it.
Sure. So Master Chief is the hero of the whole franchise,
Oh yeah,
basically. Yeah,
oh yeah,
and
he's a badass.
100%. And so basically, is he like also the leader of the group, or is he like kind of like rising the ranks as the games go on? I would ask.
No, he's pretty much just like his own person,
Mm-hmm.
but as time goes on, he has like a certain squad and stuff like that. Um, so they all start looking up to him as he starts just starts basically showing what he's made of and stuff during the books while they're training and growing up. But obviously the whole human race knows of him because he saves the human race like countless times,
Gotcha.
in
Okay.
in a lot of different ways.
Got it. So like they're the initial games are kind of what we would call like his origin story of when he was younger, and then like as the games go on, he's getting older as the games are progressing through, like the mainline games.
Actually, no. The games start when he's, shoot, I don't know. He probably in his 30s,
Oh,
honestly.
okay.
Yeah, there's the whole story begins, as far as I know from the books that I've read. There's a planet called Reach that is another planet the humans inhabit, and that's when the whole invasion starts with the alien Covenant race, and that's also the game that came out later. Reach was actually based around. I'm gonna butcher this. It's I think it's Spartan threes. They're
Okay.
actually like later than him.
Gotcha.
So um, the story of Reach is one of the books. I don't know if it's the start of the book, but it's a great book. It goes so in depth with everything. But the game that they actually made for it is probably absolutely 100% the best story out there. Like, if you
Mm-hmm.
go on TikTok, there is different clips of the squad. There's like six of them. You play as Noble Six. He's a rookie, and if I'm not mistaken, he don't ever say a word,
Mm-hmm.
but he might. I can't remember. But the whole story is based around these six members of this squad, and they're trying to save Reach. So it's more of like a prequel, honestly. And by
Okay.
the end of the game, you hear over your headset that their Master Chief is on the ship trying to leave. They're trying to get something to him. All this, and the ending to the game is your Noble Six, and you're just fighting off waves and waves and waves of enemies, and you can honestly last for hours, like if you do it
Right.
right, but you're meant to die.
Oh,
And those
that's
clips on
unfortunate.
TikTok, yeah, no, it's crazy. People have spent hours and hours to see if they can actually survive and beat the mission, but no, you meet an untimely demise every time. And there is every member of the squad dies, whether it's on camera or whether it's over the radio. You hear it, and it's so gut wrenching just to watch every one of them fall, and it's kind of a tearjerker
Mm-hmm.
if you really play the game and play through it. It's such a good story. It's it's the best of the series for sure.
Got it, for sure. And so, along with obviously the stories that you learn throughout the games, you learn throughout the books, all that great stuff. Um, there's a campaign mode where you learn the story and all that, but there's obviously other game modes in the game. So, like, online play, things of that sort. I'm sure you've played and been a part of.
Oh, countless,
Yeah,
countless hours of different games.
wonderful. So, I guess with that said, there is a strong online based community and all of that. Can you just pull the curtain back a little bit? Tell us a little bit more of your involvement in like the online aspect of it. LAN parties, tournaments, things of that sort. That they can know about. Our listeners can know about regarding Halo and its franchise.
Well, really, I think Halo really started it all. To be honest,
Mm-hmm.
with a lot of the multiplayer, the LAN parties. Like, I didn't hear anybody like going to each other's house or having big parties just to play Call of Duty and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, Halo Combat Evolved is really what started it all, but it really took off with Halo 2 and Halo 3. Everybody was bringing their Xbox over. Everybody was bringing their spare CRT TV that two people had to carry. Um, it's Halo to me, in my eyes, really revolutionized multiplayer.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, you see it in comments, like through social media, just everything. The days people had with LAN parties and the fun they had on multiplayer with Halo is just, it's insanity. There's the toxicity
Of course.
was crazy. It was so crazy. The voice chats were absolutely bonkers. Um, I remember Halo 2 was the first time I really had to take at it,
Yep.
and it was
Same.
yeah, it's a crazy experience to live through the Halo multiplayer experience. It's you're you got your friends that ends friendships sometimes.
Yep.
Um, you got split screens. Just playing for countless hours and just getting mad at each other, blaming each other
Oh
for
yeah.
screen watching and stuff
Absolutely.
like that. But Halo 2 is where it started, and it wasn't too crazy from there because it was a friend. A friend had the Xbox, so we only played when he came over. Um, Granted, he came over a lot because we played a
So he
lot of
had to
Halo.
play. You guys had to play,
Yeah,
so he had to come over
for
a lot.
sure. Then when I think I might have been, I got my first job when I was 16. I think I got enough money, and me and my brother put our money together to get a 360
Hmm.
Xbox 360. And it's a shame he used to play Halo a lot with us, and now he don't like it. He got the Call of Duty.
Oh, we got the bug.
Um, yeah, he
Yeah,
got
he
the Call
got the
of Duty
bug.
bug. Awful. It's awful. I regret we visited our family in West Virginia, and my cousins showed it to him, and he was just done after that.
Yeah.
And it pains me, but
I really feel like it is like, not to interrupt you, but I feel like off that
no, you're good.
point, it is like you were either a Halo guy or you were a COD guy. And like
I
to
know.
this day I feel the same. Like I am so like just back in the day, like if I was playing one or the other, it was Halo.
Hmm.
It was not Call of Duty. Like my boys had Call of Duty, and like when I would go over, I would obviously like, you know, shoot around with them, do what we got to do. Like when they needed a fourth or they needed like a third, whatever, whoever was over. But like I was living in Halo land, like just freaking listening to the freaking music over and over again, like on like whatever it was, like It just it's just such a more epic game to me. I don't know why. Of the two, it just like I was always more Halo than more Call of Duty.
It really it's the sci-fi, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's I always said this, it's I don't I don't want to like Call of Duty is realistic, but that is stuff that can actually happen in the real world. And I was like, I don't want to see that. Like,
Yeah.
I'd rather play like something with that's just out of this world,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
that's more fun to me.
Sure. Sure. And then yeah, just circling back to what you were saying about like it is truly a pioneer of the multiplayer game. Like in this as like in the aspects of like when it comes to this, when it comes to Call of Duty, it really was a pioneer of it. And like now you just see what it's ballooned to, which it's still 20 something plus years later, decades later, it's still such a large aspect of online gaming at whole. Like
Mhm.
because like
It's
yeah, go ahead
Go ahead.
by all means.
No, you no,
No,
you
all I
finish.
was gonna say is like online community wise, it's just like in a lot of games now, there's just online play like this, and
Hmm.
it doesn't start without a game like this in this franchise.
Right, right. It don't, and it's sad. It's sad that they took, Halo 2 and 3 had voice chat. Like, um, you can voice chat with your team during the match, but afterwards, in the game lobby, you could trash talk so much
Oh yeah,
and yell at each other. Oh, that was so fun, and they've removed that,
yeah.
and
That was that.
it's
That's
just
what I was
not the
gonna touch
same.
on next.
It's not the same.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was, partly it had to do, a major part with it had to do with how toxic it got. But
Hmm.
at the same time, and this is going to sound so childish and degenerate of me to say, but like, that was kind of part of the charm of those earlier Halo games. You know what I mean? Like, you
Oh yeah.
kind of looked forward to at the end, when everyone's back together, it's like, okay, who am I gonna, talk shit to now? Who am I gonna, like, say what to now? And, like, if you think about it, even in games now, when you're playing someone online, like, even if it's not even, like, a shooter game that you're playing online, like, like, NFL, like, Madden, things like WWE 2K, like, there is so much, you know, shit talking, and it like what I mean, like, so it's like it didn't go anywhere, it's just like it's still around.
Is so I don't do sports games. So can you like talk to the other player the whole time
Oh
during the
yeah,
match?
100%.
Let's I might have to start playing sports games.
No, I'm telling you, dude, it's it's wild, like, and like that kind of like it messes with your concentration, things like that, but like that's the part of like online, you know 1v1 or 2v2 now. It's like you can still talk all the crap you want while you're trying to like win, and it's again, doesn't start unless a game like this started decades ago.
Right. That yeah, that is the beauty and charm of it. And honestly, I feel like we've been silenced to a point just so
Mm-hmm.
we can't be toxic to each other. And even though we hate the toxicity, like League of Legends is a very toxic one that I
Mm-hmm.
did play back in the day. Oh my gosh. And it's just text on the screen, but you get so mad when somebody starts like texting and chatting, crazy stuff to you. But even though we hated it, it was still the beauty and the charm of multiplayer gaming. And I kind of miss it.
Yeah, absolutely. And kind of like you were talking about with the LAN parties, and like when you and your buddies would all go together, because like this is something like when I was playing Halo, me and my boys, you're all playing on one screen. This isn't the days of like multi screens, and like you would have like three TVs set up, three PC, monitors set up. like you're all playing on the same screen. So it's like it is that aspect of you're getting pissed off at your best friend because he's watching your screen trying to find where you're hiding. And like but like that's all part of the charm of this amazing franchise, you know?
Oh, it really is. And man, I had this one friend. I don't know. He still plays Halo to this day.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Salty Rifle. Um, he doesn't play any other video games. Like it's insanity that one person can play one game his whole life and keep playing. I don't know how he does it, but he was the thorn in my side with split screen gaming. He's just you could be it's hard not to screen watch, but I trained myself just to look at my little square because like I wanted to be the best. Like
You're a
I didn't want
scholar
to
and an
screen
honest
watch.
gentleman, sir. Let me tell you.
Yes, like I want the extra help, and but sometimes I would glance over,
Quickly in the peripheral.
just to see if he is
Little,
screen
yeah.
watching. Yeah. So like you walk you start heading down a hallway and you know there's a corner you're about to pop around. All of a sudden you see his sights and his sniper like zoom into that doorway as you're about to approach it. Um, so I really didn't like split screening. Now the LAN parties, those were great. I know we had two of them. We had one in my buddy Nightmare's place. Gosh, he was so much older than us, and I always forget how much older he is than us. But he's just like he's still in to like our generation. Like he feels like he's our age, but if if I can contact him, he has video footage of both LAN parties, I think, and that'd be great to attach it to this. But those were the most fun you would ever have in your
Mm-hmm.
life. LAN parties, you get energy drinks, Doritos, cheese dips, 12-pack of Coke, all the snacks. Your mom makes your pizza rolls, even though we were in our 20s, uh, but it was so fun to set up 4 TVs or one
Yeah.
big TV and everybody play on that one TV or different Xboxes. And then you close the door, and on the other side of the door is the other team.
Yep.
The other team that you're playing, your best friends, and you can hear the banter a little bit, just really, really low from the other side of the door. And when the game is over, that's the best part.
Yep. So
Unless you lost.
Unless you
Unless
lost.
you lost. because because if you lost, you're gonna be silent. And you're just gonna be staring at your screen. And they're gonna be the winners bust through the door. And they're just screaming at the top of their lungs, calling you trash. And you do want to fight them because you're young and dumb. You get so mad.
Yep.
But that's gosh, LAN parties were crazy, and I see all the videos on TikTok all the time. I know you've had to see the '90s nostalgias
Oh, 100%.
videos.
Yeah.
Gosh,
100%.
it takes you back and hits you in the feels.
Yeah.
But that's what it was all about,
Yeah.
and it brought everybody together.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like now everybody plays on their PCs and plays from their home, and I just really wish it could get. I wish we could de-level technology back to the day of LAN parties because it was so great, man. It was a good time.
Yeah, and honestly, I think like when it was, the LAN party type days, it was although like we're social, right? And we're social via the internet, via, you know, online play. It's still not like person to in person. That's not like it's a different type of social that we used to all be. And like I don't want to age I don't want to age myself and ourselves too much here, but like it's the old adage, it's the old conversation of, you know, when we were kids, we were outside playing. When we were kids, we were outside playing sports. We were actually playing, basketball, things like that. Just like the LAN parties. Back in the day, like, we would all gather, we would all bring our consoles, we would all, play exactly the way that you said. Now it's like, I'm at my PC, you're at your PC, and we're joining the same room online, and we're going like that. Like, yeah, you and I can have this conversation like we are now, but like, it's still not like I'm sitting next to you and we're talking. You know what I mean? So there is that like
Yeah.
old like traditional social aspect that I agree I miss wholeheartedly. But no, it's a great point on your end.
Oh, for sure. I, it's just, it's like, because like we're talking right now. You're like the coolest guy in the world, and we've never met each other.
I was say in person we've never met each other, but like we've obviously spent hours upon hours like chatting and like talking and gaming and all of that. Um, I did want to do a quick circle back. So I know earlier when you were talking about like the franchise at whole, you mentioned it, but I just want to like reiterate a little bit. Of all the Halo games that you played, which one is like the standout in the series and why?
Oh, definitely Halo 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I 100% know that the community as a whole and everybody that probably doesn't even play Halo, like if they just,
Pick it
they
up.
would probably drop the 3 name. But Halo 3 was the peak. It's not what it used to be. Um, the numbers have dropped like crazy. The original people, Bungie,
Yep.
that created Halo, uh, they all broke off right around the Reach time. So
I think that was like 2013 ish. I want to say
mhm.
around that time.
I know ODST came out, which was like a standalone spinoff, and it wasn't Master Chief, it wasn't anybody, it was just an ODST, which is just a human. Their ODST is Orbital Drop Shock Trooper,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just highly trained humans. And I know they did that one. That was after Halo 3, and then there was Reach, and then right there's they slowly started dispersing out. Halo 4 came out, might have been Bungie, but during that time it was passed off to 343 Industries, and that's just kind of where it plummeted after that. And then, Bungie went off to make Destiny, which is a great game. It kind of scratches that Halo feel, um, for a lot of people, but it's more of a grindy RPG, first person shooter. Um, but Halo 3, you ask anybody, that's the one that stands out. There's there's the multiplayer. That's when Major League Gaming was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of big names, a lot of that's really where first person shooters really kind of went crazy in an esports sense. Um, where was I going with this? But yeah, it just died off from there for the most part. I know there's Halo Infinite is the last one that came out,
Yep.
and they had a lot of issues starting out. I did play it. I played it religiously for like a month or two, uh, but it just didn't interest me anymore. A lot of people get upset because there's these games have ranking systems and stuff,
Sure.
and during the Halo 2 and Halo 3 days, there was like skill level 1 to 50. And the matchmaking system was really proper. It matched you against people that were your skill level.
Right.
And it's not like these days where like you play Fortnite and there's like 70 bots in the
Yep. I
match
was gonna
and
say
30
there's
real
like 70
players.
bots because you haven't played in a while, and yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
you just rack up kills quickly that way.
Rack up kills, and then you get to the last couple of squads, or one v ones, whatever you're playing solo, and then you got somebody that's building a castle around you, and you're
Yeah,
like,
right.
I, I work, and I got a lot of responsibilities. I ain't got time to learn how to build
To
like
learn how to
this.
build like stories upon stories of like wooden castles and freaking
Yeah.
structures. That's what I will say, and like I know this isn't a Fortnite conversation, but like I am happy that a while ago they did introduce no build, because it kind of
Uh,
like, for a lot of us who didn't, like you said, we have jobs, we have lives, and don't know how to build these structures that are taller than the map itself. It's like,
mhm.
okay, that kind of evens out the playing field a tad at least.
It
But
does. It
yeah.
does.
So I guess lastly, although you love the game, you're an enthusiast of the franchise and all of it that has, including the books, things of that sort. Is there anything about the Halo series or in general that you would change? Like, is there anything about the game that you wish was different?
Um, I wish it still had the original people that worked on the game. That
Mm-hmm.
would be one.
Valid. Valid.
Yeah, for sure. Um, change. I would not change the story. To me, the story is just pure gold, especially if you read books and stuff of it. The spin-off books, the spin-off games. They, if you really just dive into that universe, it's if you're into sci-fi and all that, uh, the wow factor of small things like I remember I read in the book that's talking about their armor. They got called Mjolnir armor. Um, it actually, when they first fit their suits, like it like suctions to their body and fits their body form and stuff. And I remember it said Master Chief was like going down to get fitted, going down the stairs, and he noticed somebody off to the left trying their armor on. And one of them forgot that he had a necklace on. I don't know. I always remember this from the
Mm-hmm.
books. I don't know why it stands out so much. But once he put the armor on and it fitted to him, because he had that necklace on, it crushed his sternum because it
Oh,
fits so
okay.
tight to their body,
Mm-hmm.
and it killed him. Um. Anyways, that's a we veered off.
No,
I
it's
just
fine.
wanted to talk
It's
about the
totally
story
fine,
a little
buddy.
bit. um, but changing it, I really hate that it's kind of died off as much as it is,
Yeah.
and with Infinite coming out, Infinite has been the best one since Halo 3. Um, I have had a lot of fun playing that one. It's just a lot of friends,
We're away
have
to it.
lost their interest in it,
Mm-hmm.
um, because it did have that bad couple of streaks with video games.
Yep.
And the story's strong. It's probably been the strongest story since 3 or Reach. Um, but I really wish the online community was there. Their numbers are so low. It seems like when I take spurts of playing it
Yep.
um, with my friend, my childhood friend, Salty Rifle. He begs me to play. When I do play, I do get on a little tangent for a couple of weeks with him,
Yeah. Like
and it
anything
just
else.
it yeah it saddens me to see the numbers that are there.
Right.
Um, I wish it still stayed as popular as it was, and
100%.
I don't know how Call of Duty does it with pumping out a game every year and everybody still plays it. I don't get it because Halo is definitely far
Yeah.
superior
I'm
story and a game than that.
definitely, like I said to you earlier, I agree with you 100%. Was definitely a bigger fan of Halo as opposed to Call of Duty, but hopefully in the future there's a revival of some sort, and you know, catch your wish, my man. You know.
Oh, I hope so.
All right.
I hope so.
Well, T, it was a absolute pleasure, sir. Having you on, talking about the ins and outs and everything involved in Halo. If you wouldn't mind, can you let the listener know out there where they can follow you, where they can tune into your content?
I don't have too much content on TikTok. I got some old videos, and I'm too lazy to make content. So if anybody out there wants to make some content,
or
post on
or
TikTok for me. I'll
content
send
as
it
in
to you.
your live streams as well, sir.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I mainly stream on Purple only because I think I'm too nervous to get on TikTok because I don't want to have to manage two
Right.
different streaming services, and also there is a lot more foot traffic, and I get nervous of having to keep up with two chats.
True. Very true.
Um, Purple's super fun though. Well, I ain't gonna say purple. This
You
is
can actually say
Twitch.
Twitch. You're allowed to. You're
Yeah,
not. You're
yeah.
not gonna get randomly bananaed on my podcast. Don't worry about that.
Okay, good deal. But yeah, on Twitch. Twitch is where I stream. It's xsweett3a. Right now we're doing a lot of Monster Hunter World Wilds, and I really want to push that, but I know it's a fever dream with gosh, there's have you seen how crazy the game is and how popular it's going right now? Like it's like top of the charts of like money made and
Mm-hmm.
sold, copies bought. Like it's going wild. I mean, it's all over TikTok. Still 2 weeks later, and there's so many people streaming and stuff. And the game's just super fun. It's fun with friends. It's grindy. It's like a mindless grind, so you
Yep.
don't really have to like focus. So it's a fun time with friends. But we have been doing shout out Plague Rizzer, some archipelago randomized runs where you know he he plays one game, I play another, but none of the items are where they're supposed to be. I pick up something and sends it to him. Like that's a lot of fun. So that's what I've been doing
Yeah.
a lot of is archipelago runs with him and then Monster Hunter Wilds. So
There you
if
go.
anybody wants to see Monster Slade, they can tune in there.
Tune into our guy. All right, so guys, if you just caught that, he on Twitch. He is xsweett3a. Give him a follow, and obviously tell him we sent you. But guys, that was another episode of Console to Console. That was everything about Halo. We'll be back later in the week with another episode. But for now, we obviously appreciate Sweet Tea coming on. But another episode in the books. We're lucky to have him, lucky to talk Halo, and we will see you next time.